If people want a short version, what would be the things that I know you can't get everything in a short version, but what would be some of the things that of what we've talked about that we really think are the important pieces for someone to I think the idea of you talking about something an incident happens and it's not so much the incident and so that's why fixing it doesn't really help. Um and the idea of being with you versus standing on the outside and basically saying come over to me. But when we're talking about communication, so you talked about like the keys. Oh, I lose my keys too, or I forget things too. That's a very unhelpful thing. So how can we help people realize like what they're doing and then help them, give them something to do or something? Because I know it's only so helpful to tell them this isn't helpful. If we don't give them something to try differently, then they'll just be like, well, what else can I do? So what are you thinking of that we could do that would be helpful for people who have like 5 to 10 minutes to watch?
Well, I think you and I have talked about the whack-a-mole,
Hmm.
and I don't know if we were going to talk about that
You
in
want to?
this. Um, well, that was another one of the things that I knew. Maybe what to do comes out of what not to do.
Hmm.
The whack-a-mole approach of uh, on we're talking about communication on trying to figure out how to help the people living with dementia. It's throwing out, is it this, is it that, do you want this, do you want that? And every time there's noise coming out of the other person's mouth, my brain can't do more than one thing. So it's listening to you ask me, is it this, is it that, rather than letting me process and figure it out. um,
So Joanna, are you really trying to think about the whack-a-mole ball and how it's really supposed to go? Because if everybody's giving you things to think about, then it really shuts you down. But if it really shuts you down, but it really, see, I thought I was offering lots of different things for you to do. Isn't that really how it makes sense? I mean, you're really following everything I'm saying, right?
I got, hey Joanna, I got that part. And then there was
At
a
least you
whole
got
bunch of
two
words and
words.
letters after that, but I don't know really what it was all meaning exactly. And I think that when, so exactly. So I used to tell when I had employees way back in the day, I'd say, I want you to come to me with any problems, but not without thinking of a solution first. Now, the solution may not work. We'll discuss it. But I cannot stand to hear people complain. And now I feel like I'm one of those people that complains all the time, when really what I'm trying to do is problem solve. I'm trying to find a solution. So I have to talk through it sometimes. Well, I can't do that if someone's going, they're trying to help me. They're trying to help me with words and with even the audible, I know what you mean. Yeah, I hear you. Yes, this whole I think it's like this counseling approach, which I don't know if all counselors do that. I don't think they do. I don't think they'd be in business, but that's just I can't get anywhere with that, because every time I hear the I have to go back to the beginning of my thought and my story. So unless they want to hear once upon a time, hundreds of times before we get to the big bad wolf, and then, and it's so hard in our culture. Again, I feel like I'm complaining, but what I'm trying to explain is we're in a culture where we don't allow for a lot of silence and a lot of patience, a lot of dead air. That's supposed to be a bad thing. We're supposed to fill it with noise. And that doesn't work. That doesn't work when a person living with dementia is already working from the moment they open their eyes in the morning. Nothing I do is involuntary anymore. I'm thinking about everything I'm doing, from getting up and walking to the bathroom and getting a glass of water. I'm having to think about not putting the hot water in the glass to take my medication, to put the cold water, and which side that's on. That's used to be involuntary. Does that make sense?
You're using brain power.
Now I'm having to think about that. So it's work. So if you can imagine all those things throughout your day that are automatic or involuntary, that's work for someone like me. And so I get tired really fast. And I think that the easiest thing and the most successful thing for caregivers to do that's going to be successful for everybody, and to me easier, is to slow down and to be patient. And I don't know how that works in a residential setting, in a long-term care setting where there's staff, because you got to get through so many people. I don't know what that looks like. That's not my environment. All I know is what works and what doesn't. And what we see the masses doing for the most part out there is what doesn't work. And I think if they could start implementing this, take a breath, take a step, sit down with me. I'm not going to take all day, I know they don't have all day, but we're going to at least get somewhere out of this interaction rather than nowhere or somewhere negative, more often than not.
Hey folks, thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe to help us spread Teeps's Positive Approach message around the world. And don't forget to click the bell to get notified when new videos are posted.